Thank you, everyone. So you might be thinking what I am doing with EI in this world of AI. AI can make you a brilliant individual contributor using of a plethora of tools and all other stuff. But if you want to work in a team, you cannot succeed without having some percentage of EI within you. And when you want to become a leader in future, it's very hard to manage different personas, different personalities if you haven't yourself developed that amount of EI within you. And this is what I'm going to tell you about. So before jumping on this, so my name is Vipin. Few of you already know now. I work for a company called MetaCube Softwares that's based out in Jaipur, India. And I'm with the same company for the last 20 years. Started as a junior QA, going through various roles. And now I'm managing teams for various continents, working in various time zones. And all this, whatever I have written here, this is more from my experiences. Being into various situations, sometimes I was the victim, sometimes different victims came to me. You always have to find solutions, and you cannot take sides. Even if you want to take a side, it has to be politically correct, right? So you have to learn these ways, and this is all about. And that's the first image that I selected. So there is an emotional part, the colorful part, and then there is a logical part, which is all the mathematical things. So the importance of EI in effective leadership. Let's first quickly see what exactly is EI. What's the technical definitions of that? Quite easy. So this is the ability of a person to manage his own emotions, to manage other people's emotions, and then act appropriately when those emotions actually flare up. If you can do that, there is some amount of EI within you. Then it never stops growing, because we as humans, we are always evolving. If we stop growing, then the emotions and the growth with these emotions, that will also stop. So it continues, and definitely we have to work to make them better with every growth. And then this is something that must be nurtured. This is the leadership part. So if you can nurture the emotions, the EI of your team members, you are definitely going to make better leaders in future. These are the 5 components of EI, so self-awareness, self-regulation, social skills, motivation, and empathy. Empathy word has gained very popular, become very popular after this pandemic. Everyone says that, oh, you should have empathy with your team members and all that stuff. But this was always there, right? Even as leaders, people who are here for 25, 30 years, they have seen, people have reached out to them with their problems, personal problems, professional problems. And you always, what you shown them is like the empathy. The first thing is the empathy. Let's see all 5 of them, one after another. Self-awareness is basically you have to identify your internal feelings, how you are feeling today. Whenever we wake up in the morning and start getting dressed for going to office or working from home, so just opening the laptop and opening Zoom and other stuff, there is a sense inside that this looks like a good day. I can achieve, I'll be productive today. Or it's like, oh no, the same old meeting, same old people, I don't want to see their faces. I want to just lie down. So there is emotions that's always happen, and you should understand what your emotions are, how you are feeling, and you don't have to say this to anyone. The understanding is enough. And we all are smart people. We know that, what we are feeling. And always use your gut feeling to guide decisions. You cannot always reach to a decision by calculations. Calculations can help you, but then there is always something here that I think I'm doing it right. Or it's like, even if the results are saying this, but possibly this may not work. This is always with us. So what are the actionable tips here for this point? Take things slow, which means if there are emotions and you suddenly experience some anxiety, some anger, right? Take a deep breath. Stay calm for a few moments. And this will just diffuse the situation. This will not give you a solution, mind you. This will just diffuse the situation, which means if someone is speaking to you in an angry tone, and in the same tone, you respond back with the immediate reaction, you have to raise your voice just to overpower him. And then that guy tries to do the same. And this keeps on going, and this leads to an argument and ultimately to a big fight. But if you just take a pause, it's like, okay, what he has said, let me see my phone. And it's like, okay. This couple of seconds looking there and then coming back in the moment, it has actually diffused the situation. Your tone will not be raised. Acknowledge your weaknesses. So if someone just asks you, okay, can you tell me a couple of weaknesses about you? This is a very common question. It is asked in lots of interviews as well. Okay, what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? If someone says as an answer that, I think my weakness is I go to the team meetings quite early, or I love to stretch hours, but this looks like this is my weakness. Then you have to work on that. This is not your weakness. So if you can't understand what's your weakness, maybe start talking to your closest friends, right? Not the family members. Don't ask your mom and dad, because they will definitely pamper you a little bit. No, this is fine. It's okay, I can manage. Ask your closest friend, your buddy. If he also can't tell you, but you are experiencing certain emotions on certain times, start writing journals. So write in a journal. And then every week or maybe every evening, just look at what you have written in the entire day. I felt bad when my manager said this. Just write it and then continue with your work. But then next day when you read it, or maybe next week when you read it, if the same thing is irritating you always, then you know that, okay, this becomes my trigger point. And we'll come to that. Self-regulation is managing emotions of others and also deciding, not exactly others, basically, it's like deciding how to handle a situation when it occurs. So again, the image says everything. This looks like the guy on the phone can manage his emotions quite well when the situation is like this in front of him. But you should understand, as a leaders, we cannot just respond to any situations in whatever way we want. There may be a SOS, but again, just have a pause, think over it, and then act. So what are the actionable tips to boost self-regulations? Dig deep into your values. So all of us, while growing from young kids to senior people, all the elders generally, they keep on saying, family should cultivate some values into their kids, right? This is a very common thing. And with those values, what we actually think is like how you should talk to your elders. It's like more towards within the family. But the same values also help you in becoming very better leaders, because values actually decide who you are as a person. And if you genuinely understand who you are as a person, because this is how your father was behaving, this is how your entire family is interacting, we all are like quiet people, some are like bit loud people, all of this stuff, right? But then you know how to handle the situations when those juniors or other team members come in front of you. Because sometimes situation, in jobs, in our age again, in situations, we are actually putting a lot of masks on our face. But who is Vipin Jain actually without all the masks? This thing actually comes out when a situation comes in front of you. Otherwise, it's always like playing goody-goody. Okay, I'm talking to Mike, he's program chair, I have to be very decent. I am talking to this guy, I don't know, I may have a different kind of tone. Who I am is I am, and who you are is you are. So have the masks, but always realize who you are. Self-accountability, that's again very crucial thing. We again as managers keep telling our team members that you should be accountable for your work. When I should be accountable for my work, do I understand that? Do I accept it? We always say a good manager is someone, when the team fails, he goes to the customer and says that, look, this is my team, we failed, and we keep on doing other stuff. This is the professional way, because we don't want to leave that customer out. We don't want the customer to feel bad, especially in the offshore, onshore models, right? But what would happen if you, let's say, forget to pay a bill in your home? There is no customer there. And your mom or your wife or whosoever just says that, oh, you forgot the bill. How you react in that situation? Are you ready to take that accountability? Yes, I forgot. Do we say that? If you are that kind of person who always ready to take accountability, again, this is a very good trait of becoming a great leader. Be like water. Have you heard of this phrase? Be like water. Who said this? Bruce Lee. You are close, but it's Bruce Lee, the karate film star. So Bruce Lee said this, like, be like water. And what does that mean? Adaptable to every kind of situation. Adapt to the situation. Water always finds way to actually leak out. Water always finds way to change its shape. Water doesn't have its own shape. In whatever utensil to keep the water in, it takes that exact shape, right? So if you are that kind of person, again, people would easily relate to you. The next is social skills. It's not about my own emotions. I am also talking to a lot of people, which means there are social interactions. Social interactions does not always mean a party. They always does not mean like people are hanging out. Social skills is how you talk to other people, how to deal with other people, the smile on your face or the seriousness on your face. That's like interaction between two individuals. So that's the kind of social skill that I'm talking about. So find ways to manage others' emotions. Many times your team member will be just entering your room, banging the gate in, and like, this can't be done. Okay, that guy is angry, but that does not give a license to you to also become angry. Ask questions. Why he's angry? What happened? Sit down, relax, have a glass of water. Now tell me what has happened. When you start talking like this, the other guy, okay, Vipin, these are the problems. This is a thing. I cannot work with this guy. You have given me a seat where air conditioner is right on my head, right? I want to change my seat. This guy doesn't agree. Okay, fine. Let's find a solution. We can find a solution. Every problem in the world can be solved on table when two similar minds can talk to each other, right? Organize groups and meetings, especially after COVID, when we all are working from homes, maybe permanently or in a hybrid mode. What we are lacking now is social skills. So we are experienced people. We have seen both kinds of world, pre-COVID, post-COVID. But then the younger people who finished their colleges during COVID, and now they are entering the offices, permanent working from home. They don't know this advantages of working in a team, interacting with people. So if you have such team members with you, organize some parties. Have like, maybe your company would sponsor that. Go out on weekends. Like maybe have a campsite, spend a day and night with the entire team. Let other people know who you are. And you yourself will also get to know like who these people are. What is his strengths? What are his weaknesses? This guy likes music. This guy is a good painter. He's a great dad with 3 kids. And you know, all these kind of stuff. This will always help you. Negotiate solutions, as I already said. And this is a very good image that I'm going to see. One of the fierce competitors all across their life. And you might have seen visuals when especially Federer decided to retire in the FA Cup, the other guy was also crying. That is the kind of social impact these two guys have. Fierce competitors and becoming so close friends, right? They can decide to remain fierce competitors all their lives. So you are gone, I am gone, that's fine. But this is something, emotions that come out. Actionable tips, give compliments. Always give generous compliments, of course, where they are required. If it's not, it's fine. So most of us, you and like me, we haven't met. But just for 30 minutes, I'm speaking here something, maybe 25 minutes, and then you guys give a good round of clap before coming on. But people who are working with you for years, what is stopping you to clapping for them? What is stopping you to give a compliment to them? That's a great work. Why it's always like an official email that goes? Why can't you as leaders go to their table and say that, just give a small piece of chocolate. I like the code you submitted yesterday. I'm quite happy about that. A small chocolate. No one will say no. In fact, the juniors, especially your team members, they will feel much appreciated. It's not a financial gain. It's not a position upgrade or something. But they will feel like, yes, my boss acknowledged my work, right? Learn to communicate effectively. As I said, you have to control your emotions. Make sure no nuances are there. But take time to think before speak. Go out and socialize. We all want to do that, and keep doing that. Let the social juices flow. Stay focused, motivation, yes, the biggest topics here. Everyone wants that, okay, how to stay motivated, or how there are situations. So many managers can argue that I'm a great guy, I'm a very cool, calm guy, but then there are situations, customer pressures, last-minute releases. How can I still remain calm? It's not possible. I'm calling few people, but they are not picking up phone. I have to reply to the email urgently. How can I stay calm? There are situations, but what you cannot afford to do in those situations is losing focus. You cannot lose your focus. You are the driver of the team. Your passengers may sleep. The driver cannot sleep. If the driver slept, you know what can happen, right? Delay gratification. So for smaller awards, maybe stop it. Let those small awards collect and become a larger award. You can go there. And stay persistent. What are the actionable tips for managers? Think the big picture, right? We don't have to win these small battles. I have to win the entire war. So some release goes fine. That's good. Everyone has done a great job. But is this your perfect goal? Is this the bigger picture that we want? The bigger picture is, let's say, the customer, the product becomes a huge success for the customer. That is the bigger picture. Because if you start complimenting and if you start, celebrating every small success, sometimes people tend to fall very easily into comfort zones. Oh, that's the process. 20 tickets a week, that is the timeline. And now I'll only do 20 tickets a week because the customer is happy. So we have to improve on that, definitely. And then become a smart optimist. This is, again, very, very important point. If the first two lines, if you read. So pessimism is a great way to kill motivation. We know that. But then optimism is a great way to crush your hopes. Because then sometimes you tend to become too optimistic. And with every optimism, the hopes also arise. And then you cannot reach to a conclusion and all the hopes just fall down. So does it mean we should stop being optimistic? No. We should be smart about getting optimistic. And what to do? This is a template for the SMART goal. So specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, time-bound. All your goals should follow these 5. So let's say if someone says, my goal is to lose my weight by 20 kgs by the end of this year, or I want to be financially free by 2025. It's a good goal, fine. But this is a vague goal. It doesn't have any value. It doesn't have any information in it. So how to say that? Maybe I want to earn $50,000 by end of 2025. So I know what is my salary. So I'll ask my boss for a raise. I will work on weekends. I'm a guitar player. So I'll earn, let's say, 200 pounds extra per weekend. And I'll put 15% of my money into some stocks or something. This now becomes a goal because now there are actionable items. After 6 months, you can see how your money grew. Did you talk to your boss? Is there a money raise you got? Otherwise, just, I want to be financially free by next year. How? So this thing will actually ensure that you are optimistic, but are you actually working towards that optimistic? And there are chances of your hopes crashing down is very less because you are measuring your optimism at a regular level. And then empathy. Understand others' feelings. This image says everything. The boss is the person who has this rainbow in his mind, and the other guy who has this dark clouds and other, he is feeling all kind of problems. Someone is seeking your attention. Someone wants to discuss his problems with you. Someone wants to discuss what he wants from life, right? Why you are always acting like a boss? So treat him as a human, not as a boss and a team member, right? He has some problems. He is seeking you because he thinks, he believes, he is confirmed that you have a solution. Whenever we call someone, you might have situations where you were in some problem. The first person that you call is the person whom you believe that can solve my problem. So when kids want money, generally they call their parents. When kids want to go out, they call their friends. So they know, again, whom to call in what situation. So if someone is calling you, don't feel irritated that, he's calling again, he will again ask for my help. He is actually trusting you that you can actually provide help to him. That's the empathy we want to develop within ourselves to run a successful team and, of course, a successful life. Actionable tips, ask all questions. That's every time, right? Even as requirements also. So when someone is coming with a requirement to you, it may not be a project requirement, it may be a personal requirement. Ask all the questions. The more you know about someone, the better will you be to solve his problems, right? So if you see, let's say in larger teams especially, there are small groups always created. The 5 tech architects, they sit together. The project manager always sits with his team leads and other. There are a couple of freshers or junior people who are sitting in the corner because they are waiting for someone to call because they are a little bit afraid of how to enter that bigger group, right, the seniors. So what you can do as a manager, just go to them. These architects you are working with for last 10 years, you know each and everything about them. Those are the new people in the team. Go to them, hey, how are you? How's the work going? How's your family? Okay, have you shifted to this town? No, okay, you are on a rent. Fine. How you commute every day to the office? You cook your own food, you don't cook your own food. Those small, small things, 5 questions, 10 questions, what the guy will start feeling, he starts feeling belonged to this project, right? And then he becomes productive. You are not going to teach him technology. He is already an engineer, and he will grow every day working technology. What we want to make him is a better human being, because in future, he will lead another team. So how you are taught is basically how you deliver in the future. Pay attention to your body language, very important. So you are talking and someone came to you for a problem and you are talking to him, you are solving his problems, but then you are like this. So sometimes what we are speaking as words, our body is actually giving us different signals. It means that body is not open. Actually, I am not open from mind. It's just because my duty is there that because I have to talk to you, so I'm talking like this way. And then get a pet. Many people say that if you can't deal with humans, get a pet, which is much easier. So these were the basic things that I wanted to discuss. Very quickly, emotional intelligence tips for leaders. Emotional intelligence is, I would say, a place where heart and mind meet. You have to think from mind, and you have to sometimes take decisions from your heart. Mahatma Gandhi has said, be the change you seek, right? You should be the first person who has to do something, and then ask the rest of the team to do. Listen with your third ear. We all are very experienced in reading text emails and imagining the emotion that the customer is actually having in that when he was actually writing that email. So when you can see a text and see the emotions, when someone is standing in front of you, how can't you not read his emotions? So whatever he's saying, listen it carefully. Most of the people listen for the sake of replying. I want you to listen for the sake of listening, right? So understand, do not listen with the intent to reply. If there is any sudden emotion, anger burst, as I said, a small pause can diffuse the situation. And this works with practice. I know, we all are impulsive. So more practice you do here, better will be your thing. Know thyself, as I said, this is again famous, Socrates have said that, know thyself, understand who you are, and that will help you solve a lot of problems. Identify your triggers. No one is a cool person, that's a fact. But there are situations where someone can behave much better, and there are situations when someone ultimately say, enough, now I have to raise my voice. So identify those situations, those trigger points, when you feel happy, sad, anger, surprise, disgust. What are those situations? And then behave accordingly. Finally, last thing, and again, taking the point from Marit's discussion yesterday, give feedbacks. But then identify the correct time to provide feedback, identify the correct tone in which you are talking on that feedback, and most important, when you enter the feedback room with the guy or the team member, right? In that case, leave all the previous judgments and previous feedbacks and previous biases outside of the room. If you already go inside with the last feedback still fresh in your mind, then you cannot talk to that person in a very positive manner. Because you will start like, last time also I told this, right? You are still doing the same thing. That's not a feedback. Feedback can be in a different way. These are some interesting reads if you guys want to learn more about these things. And thank you and stay connected. I would love feedbacks on this talk. Open to questions, if I have time.
Thank you, Vipin. It was so good.
Thank you.
To hear this presentation. We have only time for one question, so
sure.
Please check your application and like the question. Which you like the most? 16
wow.
likes.
How can you keep the balance between a respected leader and being a beloved colleague? Do these attributes interfere at all? It all depends why you respect a leader and why you love someone. If you have those answers, I think you can easily have that balance with you. How to socialize with people if you are introvert?
Introvert. Any valuable tips?
If you are an introvert, any valuable tips? You have to become an extrovert. No. Just go socialize. Socialize does not mean you have to be in a group of 15 people and then leading the group, right? Every person has some skill. You are an introvert does not mean you can't play a guitar or you can't crack a joke or you can't play a sport or something. But just go out with one guy, but share your emotions with the person. If you share it, you will feel much lighter, and then you will see that the world is open for you. If you are just an introvert keeping everything closed for you, it's very hard, this. And everyone has someone, everyone has a shoulder to fall back upon. This I know. Doesn't matter you are an introvert or an extrovert. One shoulder is always available in this world. Find that if you can't, if you don't have any.
As I can hear, they are talking in the next room, so let's have one more question because I really like the next one. Have you had a manager with very poor emotional intelligence? How did it affect you? And maybe how did you handle it?
It actually made me a better person. I always say to the team members that a very difficult customer and a manager with a poor EI or something, it actually made you a better person, a better professional. Because you clearly know these are the things I don't want in myself and in my team. There is a plethora of things that we want in my team. I want this, I want great automation guys, good-looking people, this, that, so many things. But these are the 5 things I clearly don't want, right? And you won't find these kind of managers every time. Like, you don't find these kind of customers every time. But a bad customer, and bad customer does not mean like bad. It's like who is too picky, who is too choosy. He will always make you alert. You are always on your toes. You are always, you know that if I have to go to this meeting, I have to be very clear with my data. I cannot just go and say anything. So you are pretty sure that you won't be in a comfort zone with these people, which means you are progressing. If you are in comfort zone, that means your progress has stopped.